the much delayed and long anticipated van tour. I should have filmed this when we first moved into the van 2 years ago, and it just never happened because we got so busy living in it. So I feel like this now is kind of more like realistic. What does a van look like after 2 years of wear and tear kind of a tour. In this video, we're covering everything. I'm going to split up into sections so it's a little bit easier for you to jump around if there's just particular things that you want to see. We're going to start with like the general layout and what the living space looks like, just like the things you can see. So if you're just interested in that, stick around, that's coming up next. After that, I think we'll cover the innards, like the water system and the gas system. We'll do storage solutions and like what's inside all of our cabinets and stuff separate. So if you're interested in like how we organize things and how we keep everything where it needs to be and easy to find, then you're gonna want to skip around to that. And I'll also show you everything on the outside too, because we do have some cool stuff that is going on outside the van. All of it, of course, is related directly to our lifestyle. We're very, very active. So your van might look different if you don't have quite so many things that you got to take with you everywhere. With all that being said, let's get started. So we have a Ford Transit extended length and high roof. So it's like the biggest and tallest one that you can get. We ordered it in 2021. It's a 2022 model. This is just before the like trail version came out, which does have some more fun features that I think are worth looking at. But we just have the standard like cargo van version. It's just white. We like it kind of nondescript. It was a lot more sneaky before we put our surfboards on the side of it. And we started with a blank cargo space. I have an entire van build series that is in my playlist. You can go find it if you wanted to see how we built everything, but that is what we're working with. So it's about 73, I think I calculated about 73 square feet on this inner like living area of the van. Vincent is 5'10". Let me show you what he looks like in here. So Vincent's 5'10" and a half, and he's got plenty of space. Yeah, do you feel claustrophobic in here at all?
No, not at all.
Perfect. So a couple things that are really important to us. If you didn't notice, we have cats. So one thing that was really important to us, obviously, is them being comfortable and also them being safe. So that is why we built this bulkhead separator. I know a lot of people use swivel seats, but we wanted to have a place where we could like toss the cats if we needed to do something out in this living space and have all the doors open. We could just stick them up here and they could be secure. We'd know where they are. And that's worked out really good. It's basically like the attachments for a pocket door, right, for a closet. And I put it on just like 3/4 inch plywood. It works great. We like it. It's very secure. It blocks all light. I have like foam around the edges to help with that. And it's a great place for the cats to be. That they don't know how to open this. So it works good for us for that too. This is our main seating area. We have a bug wall that we installed here this summer, which we've loved. The cats love it too. As you can see, they just spent all day looking out of it. So this is really great to have the door open. We have this nice big seating area, good big L-shaped bench, and an additional bench here. We can fit, I would say like, we've been able to fit 5 or 6 adults comfortably in here with all of us, you know, being able to hang out, which has been really fun. I think this is like more seating than average for a lot of vans, which I appreciate. And this right here is our bed. If you're wondering where our bed is, it is tucked away. It's a 5-inch mattress, and this folds down over this entire seating area, and this table lowers down with this right here. We can lower the table down to the same height as everything else and then put the bed down over all of it. And it is an almost full queen size bed. I will insert clips of us putting the bed down later because it's a little bit of a project. This is the back half of the van. From here on, obviously doesn't change with the bed up or down. Everything on this side of things is bed sometimes. This is the entertainment center, what we call the entertainment center. We've got a PS4 down here, Nintendo Switch. We have a TV that can swivel around. It's really useful. And then this is just like miscellaneous storage. Vincent has like some of his personal stuff, like watches and stuff in here. And this is what we call our bar cart. Everything that is attached to the walls is like, cannot move. It is like screwed and bolted and hooked in. So it's pretty secure. We've never had any issues with anything falling off the wall while we drive, except for the original TV we had up there, which was way too big.
R.I.P.
So I was secretly glad when it fell and I could get a smaller one. So the rest of the van looks like this. I call this the kitchen. This whole space, I would say, is kitchen. But this is what we call like our coffee bar. This was Vincent's 30th birthday present. He makes me a latte every morning now, so really it was a birthday present to me. But it is a great little machine. Well, if you care about coffee and you like good coffee, this is really worked well for us in the van. It doesn't take too much power, and I think it looks really nice sitting on the counter. We attach it when we drive using a bungee cord and hooks. When we're hanging out all day, we just boom, like that. We have right here the control center. I'll like go into a little more detail on this in like the electrics section of things. But we have like the max air fan remotes. We have all of our water related stuff. inverter switch, battery monitor, and then like water levels. And then we also have our switches for our lights. We have a like strip LED light, and then we have 4 in the ceiling also. One thing I'm especially proud of in our build is all of these little nooks and crannies I built in. They're not beautiful, but they're functional. So we have all of our cooking stuff here. Our knives are on this extremely strong magnet. We've never had a problem with this magnet. A lot of people are afraid of it. I think if I had these like by my head while we were driving, then that would be different. But since they're all the way back here, it's worked great for us. We're not worried about it. This is our fruit basket. When we have fruit, it goes in there because otherwise everything rolls around. Even if it's in bags, it rolls. And then we have our sink. I went oversized on the sink, and I'm really glad I did. A lot of people, when they see our van, this is the first thing that they comment on, is the size of our sink. It really has saved us. It's just so easy to be able to throw everything in here. We have this basket that we get a lot of use out of throwing stuff in here. Also, it's really easy to do dishes and keep everything in one spot. We have this big farmhouse style faucet and a separate drinking faucet. It's really handy. This is long enough to be able to stick outside the window if we ever needed to use that. We have another option for that too, but this has just been really handy. We love it. And drinking water, we have a separate filter for extra clean drinking water, which actually is the cleanest water I think I've ever had. I prefer our van water to like most water that I can get out in public, which is kind of fun. This is our Wi-Fi. This is a T-Mobile 5G router. Technically it's for home Wi-Fi, but if you sign up with an address, they don't check where you're using it. And it's worked really well for us. It kind of floats around depending on how good the signal is. So it's just kind of out on the counter all the time. And also cat water. We keep this out on the counter also, so they can access it easily. This is all just miscellaneous storage. We keep our toothbrushes here, and soaps and lotions, and then all of our cooking stuff, salt and sugar and things. And this window has been invaluable for cooking. I highly recommend, if you're thinking about your build, make sure that you plan in airflow. Like, we have a window / open door and fan on our bed side of things, and we also have a window and a fan on the cooking side of things, and it's worked out beautifully. We never have like lingering cooking smells. There's always really good airflow in here, even with the door shut. So, and here's our propane stove. We keep this cast iron on the stove all the time while we drive. What we do is we just have a hook, so we just make sure it's hooked, and literally unless we hit some kind of crazy bump, maybe it could come off. It never has. It's just something we don't have to worry about too much. So that's where this lives. And we have a little spice rack, just another thing that I built that is very homemade, but it works. We keep all our spices here. So we have a pretty good cooking setup. This is a 3-burner stove from Furrion. We love it. Haven't had any issues with it. I think it works great, and it's really nice to be able to cook so many things at once and have this, especially this like bigger burner that can kind of cover more areas, really good for like griddle related things.
Pro tip, you have to pick a burner that works in higher elevations, because some burners do not work in higher elevation.
True.
For example, if you go to Denver in Colorado,
Even some parts of Utah.
Or some parts of Utah, you're right.
So yeah, make sure you look for that. But we've loved this. So this has been a pretty good overall kitchen setup. We have like the entertainment center and the coffee area that has some good counter space for cooking. We have this little area for like cooking related activities, and then we have all of our cooking spices and oils and things out all the time, because the biggest part of van life is having to get stuff in and out of storage constantly. So the more that you can have stuff that you use frequently out, the more you'll actually use it, in our experience. And if you're wondering, this is a birch. It was just raw birch butcher block countertop. We got it for pretty cheap. I think it was about $300 from Home Depot. And it was a 10-foot piece that we cut down for all the counter space that we needed. I actually saved the cutouts from these two things and made really nice cutting boards that I gave away. Ceiling, by the way, is white cedar, also from Home Depot, just tongue and groove planks, which were not easy to put up, but we love how it looks. Everything else in this van was built with like either 1/4 inch ply, 1/2 inch ply, 3/4 inch ply, mostly plywood, and 1/8 inch panels for like most of the walls, and then tile is VCT tile that it just took the general like 1 foot square pieces really cheap and cut them down to 6 inches so that the pattern would show up more in the van in this tiny space. On the floor we haven't had any issues with either, except for this spot right here, which is my own fault for not leveling the floor out enough. So I do have extra tile. At some point I'll have to replace those, but that's a project for another day. This fridge we are obsessed with. I just have seen so many van lifers go with really small fridges, like chest fridges and benches or whatever, and I just can't imagine not having a lot of food storage space. We just cook at home so much. So we love this fridge. It is a 12-volt fridge. It's like an RV fridge. It's like The brand is called Unique. It was expensive. It was about $1,000, but it's been really worth it for us. Ugh. Has a really good amount of storage and a full freezer, and we haven't had any issues with it power-wise. It's never failed on us. It handles heat really well, so we love having this. It was a sacrifice in space because it does stick out quite a bit, and when it's open, you really have to maneuver around each other, but it's been really worth it for us. I can't imagine spending every day in like a Walmart parking lot to get food because we don't have space. So this is our closet, and then our water closet where we keep our water heater. I'll show you these later in like the storage organization spot, but it is just a nice big full-size space. And last but not least is our toilet. So we have a compost toilet. We have mixed feelings about it, which I'll explain later on in the systems. Like I'll have a separate section for toilets. We also have, I can show you, we have Vincent's guitar stored right here. And we also have a shower head that's hooked up to our hot water heater, so we can like just pull it outside and do showers. We had originally thought about doing like a fully waterproofed area here, but we just haven't missed it. And I'm glad we didn't spend the money on doing it. I heard that from so many people, and I'm kind of glad we listened to them on that. But we do use it a lot while we're at the beach every day to like rinse our hair and stuff. And we also have all of our shoe storage tucked here behind our wetsuits right now while they're out all the time, but we also have all of our shoes stuffed back here, which is also where we get the propane tank when we need to change it out, which is rare. We really never open this door. This is like our main door that we come in and out of every day, is this door right here. It's easier with the cats, and if we have the bug wall zipped down, it just makes more sense to come in and out the back. Okay, and then as far as like just, you know, the flow of life, I wanted to point out where we have outlets also. We actually ended up adding 2 more outlets to our space later on, and there's still more that I wish I had, because I think having cords strapped everywhere makes me feel really claustrophobic, and we're in such a tiny space. It's really nice to have lots of spots to plug things in. So I figured I'd show you like where we thought to do it. We have one outlet back here. It's just a standard 120 volt outlet right here, so we can do anything that's like cooking related. If we want to have the back of the van open and just be able to get it right out, we like to be able to plug it in here. We have another outlet here, which is where we like plug in our coffee machine and our Wi-Fi usually. Then we have 2 more 120 volt outlets right here. We use them all the time. Vincent's workspace is here. He stands up and teaches right here, so it's really nice to have extra outlets right here for that.
There's also some under there that I'm not using, so I'm patching those. I patched under.
Yeah, we do have one more 120 volt outlet down there. That is true. And last but not least, we have our 12 volt outlets. We only have these 2 12 volt outlets. I really wish we also had one on my side of the bed. We do not. We added a 120 volt outlet later over there, but we regret it every day. And we also have this cup holder. It's just a steel cup holder. So I highly recommend thinking about like where you can put things, because you're not always level where you're parked. And having like a secure spot for liquids just makes life a lot more convenient, I think. Okay, Earl. Move it. So for putting the bed down, we just usually toss everything up front that needs to get out of the space. We're gonna have Earl move. Earl, go on. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Go over there. So we just put this down like this.
Don't you dare.
I was thinking about it. It's easy. Tighten it up as much as I can. Vince can probably make it tighter, but okay. Move it. Go up there. Go up there. And we usually just put this down. We literally got this for a few bucks at Walmart, just in like their cheap flannel, like pre-cut flannel section. You just put it down so that all these hinges don't like totally wreck the bed. It doesn't work perfectly, as you can see from that damaged paint, but it is something. This is really also so the bed doesn't squeak getting on and off it. It kind of helps with just like noise dampening. It's totally an added step, but it's really hard for me to do. There we go. That, and then I'll have to get Vincent's hand for this part. It's easier.
1, 2, 3.
Then we have our platform. Really easy. And all of it's just 1/2 inch plywood, so lightweight.
And piano hinges.
And then I have a whole hidden cubby right here where we keep blankets and stuff. These are Rumpel blankets, highly recommend. They're expensive, but they've been amazing for van life. I don't think I'll ever be able to sleep with anything else, to be honest.
I'll take this over a real comforter from now on.
For sure. They're great in the winter and the summer. There's no cat hair that can stick to them. They're also waterproof, so if something spills, it's really easy to clean up. They're just all around awesome.
Well, and yeah, the bonus is this. Hey, Earl.
You're messing up my just made bed. So now we're gonna cover storage solutions, give you a look inside all of our cabinets. I'm gonna start with all the lower stuff and then do the upper stuff, just because I think that's easier to move through the van that way. So we're gonna start here with the seating area and then we'll move like through the kitchen cabinets. Okay, I'm gonna have to move Earl to show you this. So all of our benches are full storage, which, you know, obviously, where else would we put stuff? We're gonna have to move. I'm sorry, Earl. I'm sorry.
Come on, baby.
Go that way. Here, Earl, you wanna go over there? Oh, there's Goose.
Never mind.
He's good.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Okay, so inside of this bench, this is like the cat bench. They have their litter box, which also has an opening right here, so we can easily open the door and empty it, which is very convenient. And then this is what we call the cat cave. We have a hole right here that leads into the cab. I'll show you the cab later so you can see it from the other side too. It's just full of all of our soft things and pillows and rugs and winter clothes so that it's safe for them. And this is like their safe space. Goose really hates street sweepers, so anytime there's a street sweeper, he will run right to this cave, and that's worked out really well. It also stays a lot cooler in the summer, so it's a good spot for them to sleep if we're in a warmer area. And also, to note, these are literally for boat hatches. It's just like a spring and it just works with tension. Over all my years of like looking at vans, I've seen one other person use these, and I'm kind of surprised more people don't, because they, I think, work a lot better than a lot of the hydraulic ones. We've loved them, we haven't had any issues, so I'll link these below too, because I think that they're a really handy thing to have. This is our electric closet, which I'll go into more detail about in the electric section, which you can skip to, but this is what it looks like. Our batteries, our inverter, all of our electronic equipment system stuff is in here. And then the other half of this side of the bench, but this is also storage. We kind of keep things that we want to have more handy here. It's easier when we're lifting up the bed to like grab things from this cabinet. We try to keep like stuff like our camping table and other coats and things in here where they're easy to grab. This is the last little bit of the seating area. We had to have a bench here because we needed a spot for like the bed to rest. We could have just put a shelf or something, but I just wanted to make it more functional, so I built in some like little storage spaces. This is like miscellaneous cat supplies. And then we also have all of our roller skates down here. We have a net to just kind of keep them in place, because since the litter box is over here, the cats need to be able to have like a clear path all the time, so we try to keep this clear. This is also more storage. I'd originally built this as a laundry spot, but it's not convenient, so now it's long-term storage for like bleach and floor polish and stuff that we don't need all the time, but we do need to have. This is our entertainment center cabinet. We have all of our like microphones and cords and GoPro things. We have an extra screen right here. We also even have a PS4 tucked back here. When we use it, we get it out and put it up here. Everything is sitting on one of our water tanks, which is an over-the-wheel water tank, which I will talk about in the water section of things. But that's where we keep all of our electronics. And then this is like the only 2 drawers that we have in the van. These were a bitch to build. I'm really proud of myself that I did it, but we actually don't have anything locking them in place. They just have sliders that like want to stay closed, and they're heavy enough that hasn't been an issue really. This is all of our utensils, more cooking tools. I built these 6 inches deep, which is why we can have a lot of these like bigger containers in here. The next drawer is literally just the junk drawer. It is always stuffed full of everything you can think of.
Everyone has a junk drawer.
I think every house needs one, no matter how small it is. Behind here is a water tank, so there is pretty shallow storage right here. So we just have our little trash right here. Side note, I also I have hinges that open all the way, which I think has been invaluable. You want to make sure you get things that are really flexible, because it's really nice when you need to get in here to be able to open it flat, since it's such a narrow space. I also use these leather straps to keep all of our cabinets closed. I just drilled a hole and put a strap in it, and it has worked out great. We haven't had any issues. Not a single one has fallen off or come undone. It's just been a really easy solution that's like very low maintenance and low on the mechanic side of things. So I like how it looks too. So we have these leather straps on all of our cabinets to keep everything closed. This is all sitting on the water tank, so everything is always kind of crazy because we just have to stuff it in where we can. We keep our protein powder, cat food conveniently here. We have this little Oric vacuum that I really love. I recommend it for van lifers. It's very like high power, low energy usage. We have all of our like pipes and sink related things. We have a water filter back here for our drinking water. It's all just attached to this water tank plywood box that I built. So that's how we have everything attached there. Just like our gray water system. It's a little vent and it goes straight into the tank from the sink, so very basic. We just had to redo this recently because it was much too complicated, and we simplified it, and it's worked a lot better for us. These cabinets are underneath the propane stove, so we needed a little more space between things. This box holds the propane tank. It's not sealed off. We just have a hole in the bottom of the van so that if any propane ever leaked, it could just filter right out. These I recently upgraded from, like, I've tried everything for this like storage system here. We really needed the storage, and we did plastic drawers that were just barely the wrong size. We've tried metal drawers that ended up falling apart. We've probably spent so much money on updating this over and over again, and these I think are a winner, and I think everyone should use them. So these I got on Amazon. They are collapsible bins, which is great if we ever wanted to like stop using one of them. They're easy to store away, but instead of a drawer, it just has this little like hatch opening that locks. It's so nice. I love it so much. So we have like all of our extra little pots and pans. We pretty much only use cast iron. We have like several sizes of cast iron, and then this one single tiny pot, and then a cast iron Dutch oven. So that all fits in here. We have an egg steamer also. It's a great little kitchen appliance. This is all miscellaneous storage. We have extra soap in here, alcohol, bug spray, all that kind of stuff. And then down here we have our cans. And yeah, these have worked really, really well. They seem flimsy, but it's just because it's not like something that has to move a lot, they've worked great. We love them. The only other thing that's over here is just like our extra dish storage. We have like a pizza cooker, our Dutch oven, our griddle, and then like our cleaning supplies sitting on top of the propane tank. So that's all of our storage as far as lower cabinets and benches go. Oh, hi, Earl. This is a shelf that goes over the entire cab, so it's pretty deep. It gets really narrow at the back, but it is great for just stuffing stuff that we need to be able to keep track of. You open it, it is just storage. I have an Etsy shop and I have to ship things almost every day, so this is where I keep all of that stuff that I am packing and shipping all the time. Outerwear storage, hats, bags, all that stuff. My new Taylor Swift CD, all that stuff is just up here. These are our closets. We both use packing cubes and then like one bin each to store things, and that's worked really well for us. It also makes doing laundry way easier because you just get the packing cubes down and you fill them and then you put them back up here. These wire little bins were a late addition that have really become invaluable. We keep like books. This is our little dehumidifier that we use in the summer. All my like tarot decks, and then my label printer here for easy access. I try to keep these organized since they're all visible. We also have a tissue box holder up here in the corner. So the only other like upper cabinet space we have is here. We have both of these that we use mostly for like dishes, hot drinks. We have like a few little cooking things, and all of our dishes are plastic. We don't have anything glass really because it breaks. I think you found all of these at TJ Maxx at different points. We have our blender cups. We kind of have everything stuffed in here, but this is like our kind of catch-all for like most kitchen-y related things that are lightweight enough to be in the upper cabs. This last one is food storage. It's just all the kind of stuff that we kind of have to think about the heat coming off of the stove. So like whatever is going to be okay up here with the heat, we have up here. This is the last storage space that we have. We call it our closet. I know those are also our closets. It's a constant thing that is confusing in our house. We have a rod where we have some hanging clothes. We have a bin of like all of my hair stuff and makeup and stuff. We have like a little bit more long-term storage and a bin down here. And then we have all of these drawers, which I can't even fully close, for all of our bathroom related things. I think I got this at Target.
And it's actually even a little deeper, so there's even some stuff behind all that.
Yeah, we have extra camera stuff and a hammock and a bunch of other stuff back there too. And then we also have shower caddies that we take to the gym if we're like doing like a real shower. We keep all of that up here. And we called this the water closet. It all sits, like this is the water tank right here. It sits on that. The water pump is down here, so we just kind of have stuff fit all in between. This is our tankless water heater. We have vacuum equipment and extra cans of things and bottles of things. We also have our buddy heater and our little cooler in here for if we're camping or if it's cold outside. Everything kind of is just shoved in there. And as far as cat stuff goes, we have these little holders for their food dishes. Their food dishes look disgusting right now because they just ate. And then we usually just keep their water kind of floating around on the counter. I just like to keep it accessible, and they tend to want to try to lick purified water fountain if we don't have water right next to it. So I kind of keep this floating around too. It's just something we make sure we put down when we drive. So as far as our water system goes, we have that tankless water heater. It's right next to, this is our fresh water tank. It's 32 gallons. It's inside of that plywood box. Both of our tanks are over-the-wheel tanks that are like custom molded for the Ford Transit. I think they probably have other like van models covered too, but we really love the over the wheel tanks because mainly we were worried about water freezing if we had one underneath the van and or accidentally cracking it as we're driving around. So we feel really comfortable with that. You do lose a lot of storage space, so you just have to keep that in mind. But I recommend if you're going to be in like varying climates, it really does help keep the water a little bit less either too hot or too cold, having them inside. But as you saw a minute ago, we have the gray water tank on this side of the van over this wheel. It's, I think, a 25-gallon gray water tank, and we don't have any black water because we have a compost toilet, so we don't have to worry about that. And the sink water just filters directly into it. We have an extra filter for drinking water, so it's pretty basic as far as our water system goes. This is where we input all of our fresh water. We just have a hose that we hook up here to any old faucet that we can find. Even with water labeled non-potable, we have like 2 or 3 filters that it runs through, so we haven't ever had an issue with it. We do test it if we're not sure, but this has been fine. It's really easy to fill up from there. Then our gray water empties out right here, directly through the floor. It's just a big old pipe. It has a cover on it, and we just hook up all of our our Rhino and tubes. Dump it at any dump station. It's pretty easy. Technically, you could probably also dump this, if you're out in the desert or something, you could dig a hole and dump it too, because it's just gray water, but we've never actually done that. We just only ever use dump stations. So for power, we've got 2 200 amp hour batteries, so we have 400 amp hours. We have 5 solar panels up on the ceiling. So we have 500 watts of power coming into 200 amp hours, or 400 amp hours of battery, which has worked great for us. We've never really run out of power.
Earl, no.
Stay here. He's very curious. And we have a big old fat inverter in here. We've got battery to battery charger that's connected to our alternator. We've got fuses, easy access. Vincent built it himself with no experience, so it needed to be as basic as it could be. We do have our TV and our fridge hardwired into the 12-volt system. I think as much as you can do that, do it. It just makes life a little bit easier, along with all of our LED lights too, obviously.
The fans, the lights, yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, fans too, I forgot. So we have 2 max air fans and 5 solar panels on the roof, essentially. I'm not even going to try to get up there and show you. We can do that in a separate video if you're interested. This is the control center. We've got the water pump, so we have that turned off when we're driving especially. It's helpful to not have it on. We have gauges for the fresh water and the gray water. This control panel switch, we hate it. We've had so many blown strikers that just, it's very annoying. But it's what we have, so we try to make do. So we have random switches now that are for the different things. And then we have the battery gauge, we're at 94%, so we're doing great. And then this is the inverter switch, so we can turn on and off the inverter. We generally try to have it off at night. It is warm and it's underneath our bed, so especially at night in the summer, we try to keep it as cool as possible. And then we have our max air fan remote, which works for both of them, so that's convenient. And for reference, we have a 2,000 watt inverter, which we've never had an issue with. We can run the Wi-Fi and the PS4 and charge our laptops and whatever else we want. We've never had an issue, so I think that's more than enough. If you're looking at maxing out your electric system, that's the way to go. And this is our shore power spot for about an RV campground or whatever. We hardly ever do that, but it is nice to have it here, just right here on the side of the van. So finally, one of the most important parts of van life is where you're going to go to the bathroom. We have really mixed feelings on this Nature Set Compost toilet. It's like the most expensive toilet anyone's ever going to buy at $1,000, and you can use it, but we have some issues with it for sure. In the summer, we basically just don't even use it for number 2. We just don't use it as a compost toilet because it's like a full-time job keeping bugs out of it. And it's just kind of annoying. So we just hang out at the beach all day and have the beach bathrooms that we use. I would say going number 1, there's been no issues. Going number 2 in the summer is just so frustrating, dealing with flies, and just it's so much work to keep it totally bug free. So most of the year is great. This time of year, we don't even use that part of it, but we do love having it here in the back of the van. I highly recommend considering if you're gonna get a big heavy duty toilet like this, how easy it's gonna be to get in and out of the van, because a lot of people put it inside benches and stuff, and it is heavy. This thing is heavy and unwieldy, and you have to pull the whole thing out to be able to take it apart at all. So definitely we love having it in the back, at least where it's very easy to pull in and out quickly.
And yeah, and the way to just put it out, you have those little anchors to just unscrew, and that's it. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, not too big of a deal. Yeah, as long as you make sure to lock the door when you're sitting here, since this is our main in and out, We have to wait till everyone's done on the toilet before we come into the van. And as far as like storage solutions, we use the heck out of these little magnet hooks. I'm really glad we never finished these doors because now they are so useful to be able to hang stuff, especially wet stuff when we're surfing every day. It's so nice to be able to stick it on here and then, you know, pop it outside when it's drying. So we have this wetsuit hanger we got this summer. It's just like a suction cup hook that works great, and we hang it on the inside of the store when we're driving, and we put it outside wherever possible. We can also hang this on the rearview mirrors, which we love. It has worked out great for us. So if you're like us and you're outside in the water a lot, then definitely get a good hanger like this that you can kind of move around with the sun. And otherwise, there's our boogie board too. We have our surfboards here. We have these like anchored really securely into the side of the van on the inside. We had to take apart the whole walls to do that this summer. But this is where we hang our surfboards with extra straps while we drive. I have an entire video on this, kind of showing like how we did it. I will link it with a card if you want to be able to see like how we built this. But that was another big project, and it's worked out really good for us to have our surfboards on the side of the van. So this is our cab area. We have, you know, all kinds of stuff stuffed up here on the shelf. When we ordered this van, we ordered it like from the factory so we could pick everything that we wanted, which was a really good move for us because I think that driving this is really comfortable because of the choices that we've made. Also, reality of van life with cats is they will destroy everything with their little claws. These are seat covers. Our seats have actually never seen the light of day. They've always had a seat cover on them. So never fear, we did not ruin our leather seats. We actually don't have leather seats. They are protected. So we have Goose right here. Obviously we keep a cat bed here. One of the cats almost always likes to sleep in between us while we drive. Underneath this is our laundry hamper. We have a bin down here that we put all of our laundry in. We also have this really cool thing that attaches to our AC, and we can string it to the back of the van while we drive. If it's extra hot, then we can like have an extra string of AC running back there, which is great. It's really been a lifesaver. And also the winter and the summer, really. Too hot or too cold, we just like have extra air blasting while we drive. Every inch of this cab is storage, honestly. Behind my chair, we have 2 beach chairs, a beach umbrella. I don't know what else is back there. And then behind Vincent's, we have our gray water like hoses and this like beach tent and our tripod for our camera. We have so much stuff stuffed behind
emergency pack for a car,
emergency supplies,
like cables and stuff.
Then down here, this is that hole that leads to the little cat cave. We also have like our helmets for skating and stuff. This is the pickle bag where I put all of my finished orders before we take them to the post office. Otherwise, as far as the actual cab goes, we have this nice big screen where we can see everything, a nice big map. Everything's touch screen. We've got extra cup holders. We have 3 here. We have ones on each side of the cab, as well as these on each side of the cab, and then also room in the door. So we have plenty of spots to stick things, and that has made driving really comfortable, I would say. Oh, and then last but not least, we also have extra outlets. One up here, those 3 down there. So very convenient. I would say like for a cargo van, it's pretty decked out. We've been really happy with it.
Yeah.
Also heated seats, electronically adjusted seats. Pretty comfy. And just as a side note, we have the 3.5 liter EcoBoost engine. It's a 2-wheel drive, but the van's heavy enough, especially with the water tanks over the back wheels, that we've never had an issue needing 4-wheel drive. Like we've been able to maneuver through a lot of kind of rural, deserty, bumpy, dirt and gravel roads without issue. So we're glad we didn't spend the money on the 4-wheel drive. I don't think we've needed it. Well, guys, that's the whole tour. That's the entire van, inside and out. All the guts. This is how we hang out most days. We're at the beach every day these days, and this has worked great for us. Cats love it. I think we're both pretty comfortable. We both have space to work and space to lounge. Thanks so much for watching. I love seeing what everyone's doing in their vans, and I hope that this is interesting to you too. And catch you next one.